Hello, dear all. Welcome to Dots of Destiny. Today, I have taken the topic of searching for job because the present consequences, as we are seeing, due to layoffs that have already started all over the world. That is what I have felt from November last year, October, November, when Mars went to its debilitation. Most of the topics were revolving around job and job loss. And by the time this year started, 2025, and then Saturn got into Pisces, obviously it is not the place where we want Saturn to be, the Karma Karak. So it is the end of an era where the job looked to be a very, it looked as a very, what can I say, very nice profile, or whatever you can put it in that way. As if this is suddenly Saturn, especially after Aquarius, when it was in Capricorn, the COVID tide had a lot of issues with job at that point also. But in Aquarius, Saturn had solved that thing quite a lot, and people were in the merrymaking mode. Definitely, it is the 11th house, Saturn in its own Mul Trikon, the Karam Karak planet in its own dignity. It gave a lot of many people still say that it was not enough, but then anyway, what can I say about that? Then we knew that Saturn is now slowly moving into Pisces, and Pisces is not a place for Saturn, neither, though it has its very prominent nakshatra Purva Bhadrapada. Saturn nakshatras, they are storage of karma. Now karma can be good and bad both. They put pressure. Uttar Bhadrapada, Saturn will be transiting next full year into Uttar Bhadrapada Revati this year also, as it is doing. So it'll put lot of pressure on human, the how to sustain, how to do the things that you were doing in whatever way you were doing. So the job loss situation is just the tip of the iceberg that we are seeing now. Though it is not, see, till now I had not been dealing with this topic, but recent certain events and the way from January to this July end, the kind of situations people have approached me with is that. If it's a startup, it is not happening properly, it is getting delayed, money is stuck, work is like coming and going. And not only that, the problem with this Saturn in Pisces and next Aries also, because Saturn is now Neech Abhilashi, and it will go into Aries from 2027, back and forth, sometimes in Revati and Ashwini. Ultimately 2028 it will be fully starting its journey in Aries. So these two position of Saturn does not at all guarantee stability of job market. I am not talking about business over here. Yes, business is slightly linked. Business will also somewhere suffer, definitely, but certain sectors will be rewarded by Saturn in Pisces and Saturn in Aries. But the job market is seeing a very, very profound change, and the changes are not easy. To get a job and sustain with it is the biggest problem as of now. Sustenance of the job, once you have achieved, you have been put on a bench, or you have been, done away with, you got something, and again there can be a change. So that is the phenomena that I'm seeing now. See, today I have taken certain horoscopes to understand how, what is the scenario like, at what point of time can we expect to get the job or an opportunity. for us to strike, because there are many people who came up and told me 6 months, 1 year, I have been sitting like that, and really it is not easy in that kind of a situation, especially if you're the prominent bread earner and the family is running on savings. The situation is definitely going into more, detrimental condition, in more, it is not solving anyway. That is what I am trying to say. Now, I have jotted down certain points which I'll give in the, I'll show on the screen also. This is the way, like, if you want to check whether, like, if you are in that kind of a condition and you are hesitant to go to an astrologer, you can check by yourself also. There are certain conditions that you need to check. 5 more or less I have penned down. So you can see it now on the screen. The first thing that you need to check is the lagna. Why the lagna? The lagna has to be very, very strong, so that you keep on pursuing with your job hunt and or the sustenance or whatever. If you are searching, if you are looking out for, the lagna is very important. Then comes the Artha Trikon house, the 2 6 10. 2 6 10 houses, they always give us with wealth. They supply the wealth because they make you work. The second house, as you know, it is a wealth house. Sixth house is your daily routine, daily wages. You get a job, and that seventh house also, to quite an extent, it does. But let me today just deal with the job case. So I take more or less the sixth house, mainly the Artha Trikon, and obviously the 10th house, where you are in the reach out with the professional things that you want to happen. So these three houses are very important, and along with it you have the 11th house. 11th house is also your incoming gains. So 11th house, if it is good, or any planet is active over there, then there is more chance that you land upon. Now, for all these things I will be showing 5 horoscopes today, but let me complete the points first. So these are the first is lagna, then is 2 6 10 11. These needs to be checked if they are active. Now, how they are active? In your dasha, maybe a planet is there, it doesn't matter, but you have to check. Without the dasha, the planet cannot be active. So dasha, antardasha, pratyantar dasha is very, very important in fetching a job. So dasha, antardasha, pratyantardasha should be checked, and where these planets are placed, so that you can click on the, your wealth is again in the regeneration mode. It is again, coming up. So that needs to be checked. Then I take obviously the 10th lord. The 10th lord is very important, 10th lord, wherever it is going. This time Cancer ascendants have the 10th lord, the 10th lord is Mars. So Mars had a long time debilitation last year till this year May month. They had lot of Cancer ascendants have come up, and they had problem with their job. Similarly with the Scorpio ascendant also it happened, because Mars is the lagna lord. So see, lagna lord, 10th lord becomes very important in your job related matters. That is very important. Then after checking this, obviously, where is Saturn transiting on your horoscope? Is it transiting in your 2 6 10? Then it can give you breaks, but it'll again make you join somewhere, and it may not give you obviously the payment that you want, but it will make you slog and go towards. So whenever I see Saturn is transiting 2 6 10, at least it is better that you have something than nothing in your hand, and you slog and you get towards betterment. That is one thing. Saturn 11th also generates definitely some kind of income. So Saturn is very important. Again, 12th Saturn, especially for Aries, here the frequency of job loss has become very fast. Aries people have also, because Mars is also the Lagna Lord for Aries, and Saturn being in the 12th house, it has become a big problem for the Aries as of like that is what I'm finding in my consultancy experiences, right, starting from last November, October, November I'm talking. So this is one thing. Saturn is important. Next comes your obviously your D10. D10 here is important. Why? Because you have to check where, see, D10 has certain methods of checking. Obviously, it has to be correct. Your correct your birth time, because it changes very fast. So in your D10, like if it is the third house dasha, if it is the fifth house, if it is 12th house, then sudden job losses can happen. 12th house, definitely a person suddenly quits, or they don't want to stay in that job, something like that can happen. They are harassed in such a way. Third house is such a house I have seen. They are forced to retire, or even they face a problem because it is the efforts house, the third house of D10. Fifth house is 10th, 8th from the 10th house. So that is also an issue over here. Though the Trikon house is supposed to be very good, but in D10 the fifth house gives sudden job changes, or you are forced to change, or you are forced to submit your resignation. So these conditions in D10 needs to be checked. And when the next job may come up for you, that the D10 will also tell. Obviously D1 is the main horoscope that I look into, but I always cross check with the D10. Last but not the least is the transits. The transits are very important because that is the delivery boy, as we call it. So the transits will, if they don't fall in sync with the dasha, and the transits do not cover up your money houses transit, then at that point of time you are not able to hold on or get any proper interview or job in the process. So that's why this is very important also, that transits also deliver you with good results. I'll give you an example for that. Like at this moment, if you take the Aries ascendant, you see the 10th and the 11th Lord Saturn is in the 12th house. It is very difficult for both, two important house lords goes into the 11th, 12th house. It is not easy, definitely. And now Jupiter has also come into the third house. Now only Rahu in the 11th house can give some some employment, something. If you're in the Sushma Dasha, in the Pratyanta Dasha of Rahu, it does delivers. I have seen that. Now here Aries ascendants, Mars now in the 6th house, if at this moment they have to fight, they have to try that they they get a job if they are in a job loss condition. But in the same case, just the next ascendant Taurus is having a good transit at this point of time, if the dasha is good. Now don't see, many people again directly go to the transit. I am telling, if the dasha is a little bit also supporting you, so look at the Taurus ascendant, 11th house Yogakarak Saturn, 10th house Rahu, 2nd house Jupiter. How many, see, there are so many money houses that are activated at this point of time. So the just first two ascendants, I have told you the difference. So this is how the time and tide changes. You know, you have a good time and you have a bad time regarding the dashas involving the kind of the transits your ascendant lord. Now moon sign lord is important. I'm not telling it is not. I will show also in my example horoscope that from the moon sign lord also it is seen. But that is see, moon is again the state of the mind. If it gives the result, very well and good, but that is what you want. Now the lagna, if it does not have the main say, because lagna is your physicality, then you may not be able to get the desired result. That is what I have seen. Moon is the mind. It gives the attitude. You want to fight, you want to go for a competition. Very good, your moon is well placed. From your moon sign, you have a, suppose you are a Scorpio lagna and a moon in Taurus opposite. Your moon sign is going through a very it is like Rahu in the 10th house for your moon sign, but from the Scorpio lagna it is 10th Ketu. So very varied results. So such kind of things are, that's why astrology is simple and complicated also. But now let me put up my first horoscope and let us discuss about that. So you'll be Okay, so let's start with the first example horoscope. So the first example horoscope is, you can see it is a Taurus Lagna. Taurus Lagna with Saturn on the Lagna, and it is a very high profile horoscope actually. And this person is working in Silicon Valley in California. And a very high profile job she does, and she's a lady. And when she approached me last year 2024 in the month of September October, she told me that the company has told her, it's a very important company, and she's in a very high post. The company told her that you please go on, take voluntary retirement, otherwise then we'll give you some, it'll suit your bill with the some payment we'll give, and make things easier for you. Otherwise by next January February 2025 we will make you quit the company, because the company is unable to bear with such high rank and high salary. So this is the condition when she approached me, and that was the time of October 2024, as I remember. Now see, at this point the dasha she is running is Sun with Rahu. Sun Mahadasha, you see Sun is in the sign of Leo, but it is in the 4th house. So obviously the Sun is not at all Digbala. So this is very important. Sun in the 4th house, I have seen most of the time it will give some kind of a downgradation to the point where you have reached, because the planet is Dikshunya. How much it is in Leo or exaltation, it will have that problem. Sun in the 4th house. And that is why Sun in the 4th house people, when they go through that dasha, they face some challenges as far as their career is concerned, definitely with higher authorities. Now this person, if you see Rahu, because Antardasha was Rahu. Rahu was is actually 6th from the Sun. Rahu is 6th from the Sun. So if you put the Sun as the Dasha Lord, Rahu comes 6th. So some challenges, obstacles, competitions, something will happen. 6th from the Dasha Lord will bring certain conditions where you have to fight, right? This is what Rahu is giving. And Sun Rahu, Rahu Sun, usually it will always give some kind of a problem with authority, with bad name. You have to quit from your position, you have to come down. Ego loss is the word. Now that is what happened with her. Now since you can understand it's a very high profile job she was doing, she was quite scared to put down the CV, put down the resignation. She said, let me see, let me continue what they do. I said, no, you please put down and you will have better chances ahead, so that you don't go with the humiliation process. What when I told her that, she asked me, if I apply for new jobs now, when can I get one? I said it will be not before March month, March, April. That is the time. Why I said that? Now see, here it is her dasha. First her dasha, she was running Sun Rahu till November month. So nothing here, only degradation will happen. Then Sun Rahu Jupiter till December or January nearly. Now, when I saw this, she's a Taurus Lagna and Jupiter was on the Lagna, 11th Lord on the Lagna. So, I knew that something will click with her, some opportunities will come down her, because 11th Lord has now activated the Lagna. And also in the 11th house Rahu is there, and Saturn is still there in the 10th house in the month of December, January 2025, right? So the conditions are bad, no doubt, but the transits are telling me something good can happen in the process. Then she comes with Sun Rahu Saturn, that runs till the end of February. Here she mitigates with different kinds of other companies and she goes and searches for job. She gets the interview, she gets through the all the layers of the interview. It is done. But see, at that time, if you remember, though Sun, Rahu, Saturn, all are in the 10th and the 11th house for this Taurus ascendant. Sun was in Aquarius, February 15th to March 15th. Saturn was still there in Aquarius, and Rahu in the 11th house. 11th, 10th is fully activated. But they told her to wait until they gave the offer, because her Lagna Lord Venus was retrograde in the 11th house. So some other things the company had to know about her, why she left a big company like that and all these. They were making they were going through their process of scrutiny. All those were done, and then she landed with the offer of job. That is where I have given the transit also. The transit results I have given, you can see. It is in the transit of 15th March onwards. 15th March, if you see the transit, the horoscope that I have that is on the screen now, Sun is nearly coming into the 11th house. She is running Sun, Rahu and Mercury. See, Sun, Rahu, Mercury all are in the 11th house at that point of time. So see, and exactly that day when Sun was crossing from Aquarius to Pisces, she got the offer for joining from the month of April. So see, this is the way a horoscope pans out to give you the job that is required. Now my thing over here is that it's a very good example of how you quit. And also I saw in the D10 also, she had a third Rahu. She had to quit. Third house Rahu. It is, you are forced to do, you do the thing that you go away. You are not needed anymore. Anyway, so this is a very good example of how the jobs market, you can fathom from your own horoscope. Okay, now another interesting horoscope comes. That is, this is Scorpio Lagna horoscope. This person is going through, when he approached me, this is again in the month of February, January or February, I think February month. He is running through the dasha of Mercury and Saturn, the last dasha of Mercury, Saturn, and the Pratyantar dasha was Rahu. Now, Rahu was transiting at that time in Pisces, and the the person concerned in his organization also told him that till May month, the Rahu Pratyantar ends in May 15th, like that, or till the May month end, we will be able to sustain with you. Then you have to be searching for some other job. Now when he came to me, I saw that he is running Mercury, Saturn, Rahu. So obviously this change will start happening. He has to search now. He started searching already. He told me that I'm searching. Why? You see, Rahu is in the third house with the Lagna Lord. He's a Scorpio ascendant. Scorpio ascendant's Mars was debilitated at that point of time. It was in the 8th house. They were going through a change. But this person has that gusto to go and find for the job. That is very important. That's why the Lagna Lord is very important, where it is situated in your horoscope. How much you can, put yourself forward in the time of distress. Now when I saw this horoscope, I knew that now he will come with Mercury, Saturn, Jupiter from 15th May onwards. Okay, and Jupiter will come into his 8th house. 8th house is a money house, and by that time, if you see the transit also, the 8th house is a money house, and obviously, like Saturn is also in the 5th house for Scorpio ascendant, Saturn. And so Saturn coming to the 5th house and Jupiter in the 8th house, both will be aspecting the 2nd house, and the 2nd house is getting activated definitely. And what is left to be done is that this Mars will come into its after the 8th transit, will come to the 9th, and then it will come into the 10th with Ketu. That will happen in the month of June. So that I understood seeing his horoscope, that he will be very surely, he will be coming across a job in this phase of time if he tries. That will be given to him, because the dasha was Mercury, Saturn, Jupiter, and then he will be going to the Ketu dasha. Okay, so what happened, you see, in the 7th of June, May month, till May month he was employed, and then from June onwards he was not getting anything. So May month passed, he had already applied for jobs. 7th of June, I told him that Mars will be in Gandanta, going into the 10th house. Lagna Lord strong transit into the 10th house with Ketu cannot go for a miss. So he waited for that. And then when exactly 7th of June he told me, you can see there is a Jupiter Mercury conjunction in the 8th house with Mars and Ketu in the 10th house. So that is when he got the appointment letter. But he was not supposed to join immediately in June. He will be going to join in the month of July. So Mars will come out into the 11th house, and then he will be going to join the service. So that is how it showed me that when at that time Mercury was, when he called me, Mercury Mahadasha, Mercury was in the 5th house, debilitated. Saturn was also like 4th, it's coming towards the 5th, and Jupiter was in the 7th house going towards the 8th. So these situations needs to be changed, and then only you will be able to land on. And again, the Artha Trikon must become active. His Jupiter Saturn transit was activating the 2nd house, which is very important, and Jupiter is aspecting its own house, being Jupiter in its own Pratyantar Dasha, Mercury, Saturn, Jupiter, when he landed with the job, and Mercury Jupiter conjunction when he got the confirmation that yes, he is given the job. So, and Mars also crossed the Gandanta immediately. See, it's a 0-degree Mars, and then Mars is now in the 10th house. With Ketu, it creates lot of issues, no doubt. That's why he was also immediately not given, and from July he was supposed to ask and all these things. But then Mars is Mars in the 10th house. That's why the double transit of Jupiter, Saturn, and also Mars. Here, Mars, when in the 10th house, is aspecting the Lagna also. Scorpio own Lagna it is aspecting. So, this is another example of job loss and then gaining a job. So, this is one thing. Another example that I want to put is that. Okay, my third horoscope is regarding a lady who is now, this is a little bit different scenario. She is running Saturn Mahadasha with Mercury Antardasha. Now you can see Mercury being the 10th lord is in the 12th house. Before only she had quit her job in Jupiter Mahadasha and she was going towards the business now. Now, in the Saturn Mercury phase, her business was not running at all well. But she's a very well qualified lady. And she came and told me that last year, this was also in November, I think November, December, she told me that, see, the capital for the business is not very high. Though I wanted to set up my own business, but now I require a job. Will I be able to get one? So then I saw that it is the 10th Lord Dasha. She's running Saturn Mercury, but she is not able to get on to a job, because when she approached me, Saturn was in the 3rd house in transit, and Mercury being in the 12th house, she was not very much getting much offers. Mercury does not work very well in Scorpio, that I've seen again and again. Now, so I told her, yes, the thing that you can do is that you are, because immediately I saw that her dasha is changing. She was, when she came to me, she was running Saturn Mercury, and then it is changing to Saturn Ketu. Okay, so this is what I saw, that this will happen, but this will take some time, because she approached me in November December 2024, and till 2025 May month she is running this Saturn Mercury Antardasha, Saturn Dasha Mercury Antardasha. So what I felt is that she'll get the job once she comes into Saturn Ketu. Now, why it is? Saturn Ketu usually puts a break. But when I saw her horoscope, she will be going through a Saturn Mahadasha with Ketu Antaradasha, which is clubbed with Venus in Libra, if you can see the 11th house. So, as we know, Rahu Ketu behaves like the planet they sit with, and Venus is in dignity over here. So after her one and see the degree of Ketu, you see her Lagna is 26 degree and Ketu is 1 degree. Immediately I understood it is going into the Bhavachalit chart in the 10th house. So Saturn, by the time it will come into the 4th house, it will be Saturn returns for her, some big changes waiting for her, and obviously Ketu is in the 10th house, in the Bhavachalit. When the planet is in that house, it will give result regarding that house, definitely. So then I told her, yes, you will be getting a job, and Ketu is what you have, the past thing you have already mastered, suddenly that will come out, because 10th house Ketu, if you are running a job, it will give a change in the process. But it's not that it does not give a job. It can be satisfactory, not satisfactory, that's a different scenario. But it will bring you towards employment. Again, 10th house activation. Saturn, the Dasha Lord and the Antardasha Lord, they are making a relationship with the 10th house. Now, another thing I saw is that Jupiter, the Lagna Lord, is crossing the moon in Taurus when she approached me. So her mind is now, because her business is not running very properly, her mind is now more job oriented. And she's looking for that. She's sending different CVs and all these things to, when she used to work in Jupiter Mahadasha. So, because she told me that she wants to follow the business, but she needs some wealth to make it forward. So that was the thing. And when I saw that now Saturn Ketu and Saturn Venus both being in Bhavcharit in the 10th house, she will get something regarding her profession. And Jupiter at that time was transiting in her 6th house. Then Jupiter came to the 7th house, aspects the Lagna. Now see, Lagna Lord is so important. Jupiter aspecting the Lagna. Saturn after the transit into Pisces is aspecting her Lagna and aspecting the 10th house. Jupiter is aspecting that Venus and Ketu, and with the 5th aspect, Libra. Rahu in the 3rd house is giving her, these are major planets, right? Giving her the courage, again aspecting the 11th house. So now she went to the interview with a company she had worked with previously, and see how things pan out. In Saturn Ketu, she landed up in that interview in Saturn Mercury only, and then as Saturn Ketu started, she got an offer from that company. So that is the thing. 30th June she got the offer, not in the month of May. Ketu started exactly 6th June, Saturn Ketu started, and she went through all the rounds of interview, and by 30th June she told me they have given an offer letter. Now what was she running at that point of time? Saturn, Ketu, Venus. See the Venus, it is having in its own house in the 6th house. Ketu with the Mars is propelling, her past life, fortune. It is somehow propelling the fortune, because Mars is the 5th lord. It is giving some advantage to her Bhagya Dasha. So, and obviously main is over here, Saturn and Jupiter aspecting the Lagna, and Venus over here in the 6th house is giving her the employment. And when she will join the employment, this is the offer that she's getting. Mercury will be coming into Leo and then into her 10th house. Then she will be able to join. So again you see the very important thing again and again when I see in a horoscope, and if you see from the moon sign also, she has a moon sign of Taurus again. So Taurus moon sign is Taurus is running that kind of a time where the 10th and 11th house is activated. So the point I'm trying to make is, whenever there will be a click in the job, the 2nd house, the 6th house, the 10th house, the 11th house, dasha related to these houses, Lagna, Mars is very important over here. Mars is, the ability to fight, to go out and fight. All these will make a scenario happening for you. So there are like many horoscopes that I've got from last year till now, because see, I'm making this, why is that there should be, obviously now, as I told before also in my video, employment may not be stable. That's a very different thing. Stability of a profession is very, very different. But whether I will be able to sustain my life, whether the money earning or the generation of wealth is happening or not, in this way we are able to see. And another thing is that, see, there are certain cases you cannot keep on things will not happen until the dasha and transit match. It will not happen. So that kind of a resilience, that kind of a patience, that is very much important, even for business, even for any other field that we are having. The purpose of astrology is to, it needs a lot of patience. Believe me, I have been a very staunch follower of this, and you have to just sit and you have to wait for the time. You cannot complain. If you put your hand and leg, up in the air and fight with it, it will not happen before its time. It cannot happen. And I have seen that again and again in my life. That's why my belief in astrology has come. I'm a totally pure science student. I had started with mathematics major and have completed, but astrology is pure mathematics. It deals with all the degrees and the planets and when it gears up to give the result. So see, this is I wanted to make this video because this is the thing that is happening every day now. Every day consultation is regarding job. More it was like in Aquarius Saturn, like marriage, all these things. Now it's kind of quite dimmed down. So hope it gives you some insight into how we look into the job factors and how we can see how soon we are able to land upon a job and have that in our hand. And please sit tight with whatever you have at this point of time. Don't be eager to change it. The market is not at all looking good in any front at all. Take care, friends. Om Namah Shivaya. Have a good day.